Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday of next week, I'm gonna be running. Okay, I'm gonna be running, seriously running, and we're not even talking about lab work and all that other shit because really, I need a full workup. I need a full blood panel done. I want my thyroid checked. I want my thyroid hormone is what I'm saying. Okay, I need my hormones and things checked. I want my B12 level checked because you don't want to be giving yourself injections and your levels are really good. You know what I'm saying? So I need to know where I'm at as far as my B12 level is. I also want an MRI because my back ain't right, and I know it has a lot to do with my fibroid because it's my lower back. You know what I'm saying? And my fibroid is posterior to my cervix, so it's to the back of my uterus and my cervix and stuff. So it's pushing in my back. So, but still, nonetheless, I'm gonna need the MRI anyway for them to get a baseline as to whether or not it grew or will stay the same or shrank or whatever the case. So I need to do that as well as my knees. My knees, sometimes my knees be clowning on me. I don't know what the fuck. Y'all, I don't. Let me tell y'all something right now. When you in your 20s, so many things that we take for granted in our 20s. In our 20s, we're so naive, we're so giggly, and we do, I heard one girl say, she was like, "Oh, that was a 20-year-old mistake." No, that was no. What she say? She said, "Girl, that was 25." And I was like, 25? She said, "Well, girl, when you're 25, you doing dumb shit. And you do a lot of dumb shit in your 20s. You don't realize it at the time because your decisions that you're making at 25, they appear to you as sound. But once you become 35 and 40, the things that you did in your 20s, you look back at it like, damn, I was a motherfucking fool. That nigga told me what and I believed it." You know what I'm saying? You kind of see things differently. Wisdom comes with age. You know what I'm saying? And then there's some motherfuckers that just seem like they've been here before, and and they're pretty wise for their age and stuff. But for the most part, it's not the age, it's the stage really, and wisdom come in all forms. So sometimes a person's life experience, like my life experience, is at 40. There are some people in their 50s that haven't seen or done some of the things that I've seen and done in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Traveled abroad, got a passport, and you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have not traveled. A lot of people aren't versed on that type of stuff. A lot of people aren't, and you know what? Let me say this too, goddammit. Let me say this too while we talking about age and, and all that kind of, sometimes people's chronological age just don't add up, and me and Kenny's ex-wife, Lisa, me and her are real cool. We cool. We talk on the phone and shit, and she's on my Facebook. So me and her, we cool. And so we were talking about men. We were talking about the things that Kenny has done and do, and we're just talking about men in general. You know what I'm saying? And we were talking about, you would think that as a man get older, he becomes wiser and he won't make the same stupid ass mistakes that he made in his 20s and 30s. And sometimes it's straight the contrary, because an old fool is something else. I'm telling you right now, y'all, it is so many, and I'm sure some of you guys can attest to this or have a family member that's like, this is an old ass fool. Because it's people out here in this world that just don't know how this system works. They don't know how the world works. They don't know shit about the government. They don't know nothing about the political race. They don't know shit about delegates. You get to talk about delegates, you lose some motherfuckers, because a lot of people just do not know how this world works, and it's rather sad. It really is. I was telling my girl Jody, baby, we need to start watching the motherfucking news and seeing what's going on. You need to watch the news, see what's going on, get versed as to how this world works. I understand you don't have any children, because she don't have no children, so shit, she's like, shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get no income tax, no way. And I mean, a lot of people, a lot of people are stuck on that. It's like, well, shit, it ain't affecting me. I don't give a fuck about what's going on in this motherfucker. But now you need not take that position. We as Americans, we need to know what's going on in our world. We need to exercise our right to vote. I'm not, I won't stand as an advocate for Barack, but I can say that I don't vote for him because he's a black man. I voted for him because he's a brilliant man. There is a difference. And you a lot of people are saying, oh, well, he didn't really do nothing. He didn't really do the all thing. He got, he got a, oh boy, 9/11. Okay, yeah, a lot of people feel like that's all he did. People, we need to get versed on what's going on in the world, okay? Because first of all, you had a Democrat that came off a 8 year Republican stand. So, you have to look at it like, okay, Daddy Bush did 8 years, then Bill Clinton came in and did 8, and then we were sandwiched again by another Republican, and then we came back with Barack. So even though things are passed in the Congress and there's bills and things signed and all that other stuff, sometimes it take a while for things to trickle down. Okay, now he can sign something into office and we don't get the effects of that until maybe 2 years from that time. Okay, so what you have to look at the fact that when Barack took office, okay, and especially I need to pose because I went to the inauguration. It was cold as fuck down there, y'all. It was cold as a motherfucker. I had never, nigga, I was on some old Jack Frost nipping at your nose type old nigga, I ain't never been that cold before in my life. I don't know how in the hell y'all doing that shit on the East Coast, nigga. I was so motherfucking cold. I was like, these niggas are singing and dancing and shit, and it's cold as the motherfucker out here. What is going on? It was too goddamn cold down there. I think the wind chill factor was like 17 or something. My teeth and shit was rattling like a motherfucker. My jaws was fucked up by the time I got home. I was towed up down there in Washington, D.C. Do you hear me? I was towed up down there. I'm telling you. And let me tell y'all this here. When I was down there, one of my friends here took me to this, they call them flea markets and shit. But here in Cali, we call them the motherfucking swap meet. Indo swap meet. Anyway, we was in Maryland. And he had took me around through Baltimore and stuff. And I had went and I had took some, I had, that was the first time that that was the second time that I had been by the stadium where Ray plays. And so we had took pictures and stuff like that. And then he had took me to, and the stadium was like downtown area or whatever. It was a trip. And then he had took me to an indoor swap meet in Maryland. And the swap meet was like, I don't know if this was an old store or what. But it was like when you go in the inside of there, it was like shit. It was like going through a maze and shit, and it was like I don't know, and it was like pushed back on the street, and I don't know if this was an old Kmart building or if it was an old, I don't know if it was an old building, but the swap meet and the parking was fucked up. But I mean, it was a swap meet though, and it was a trip in there. I was like, wow, I didn't know that they had indoor swap meets like that at different places. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying. But I know that I did go to one in Atlanta. I went to a couple of indoor swap meets in Atlanta when I was down there before too. But I just wanted to share that when I was in Baltimore, that we had went to an indoor swap meet in Baltimore, and the parking and shit was all whatever. But this big ass building, and it was a flat big building, and it was long. And when you went into the inside, and they had a little food eatery place in the back and shit, and we had got some. They had chicken wings and shit in there that you can buy wings and shit. And so those of you guys that live in Baltimore, tell me where I was at, because I had went to we had bought some wings and shit in there. And then they had a lot of holistic stuff, shea butter and black soap and shit and all kind of shit in there. And they little swap meet. And they had the little knockoff Juicy Couture, little bracelets and shit, because I bought some of them motherfuckers. And as a matter of fact, it's still over there, but it's all turned and shit. But I had bought one of those in there, and I think what else did we buy? And there was a coat that my friend he had bought him a coat, and I was like, damn, nigga, y'all wear bomber jackets in this motherfucker? Cause it was like a big ass quilted coat and shit, and that was like, and when I went to the inauguration, there was a lot of people with that same coat on, you know, that same big ass coat. But I guess y'all gotta wear that shit because it was cold as motherfucker down there. But anyway, yeah, so we had went there, and then I remember when we had went to when I was in DC, and so we was driving around and stuff downtown, and we had we had drove down a street, and he was like, well, this right here, this is, I can't remember the name of the black college. I can't remember the name of the black college. But across the street from this black college, we had went on this long street, right? I don't know the name of the street, so I'm sure you guys that live in that area, you guys will tell me what's the name of this college. We went down this long street, and I was driving the rental car, right? And so we had, no, he wasn't with me at that time. I was by myself. So we had drove down this long street, and here I had turned on, because we don't have a lot of one-way streets and shit. You know, downtown LA, they have them. But a lot of one-way streets and shit, it was like, damn, where the fuck am I at? You know what I'm saying? I was driving down this one-way damn street and shit. But then I had pulled into this little parking lot, because, what was the name of this fucking college? It's gonna hit me after I stop this shit. Because it's a well-known black college. And it was on this long ass, and it's right in the middle of, like, residential areas and shit. And then across the street from the college, I had pulled into this little parking lot, and it was like a little liquor store. And I don't know, I guess it was like a little, because I was asking him, I was like, y'all, where y'all fish markets and shit at? You know what I'm saying? So I was asking the little local cats and shit where was the fish market. But right there in that little liquor store parking lot, it was a one-way street right there. And I didn't know. As soon as you, because like here's the college on this side of the street, okay? Across the street, a little bit down the street was this little shopping center, a small little shopping center. And it's a little liquor store right there, and it's on a corner, okay? But right there on that corner street, there was a one-way street right there. Nigga, how about I come out of the parking lot of the little liquor store, and I hooked that left right there, and they was like, no, it's a one-way street. You supposed to, you know, turn around or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I know I'm all over the place, but fuck it. So those of you guys that live in that area, tell me what's the name of that college, okay? Well-known black college and shit. I don't know why I want to keep saying Southern, and that shit is in Louisiana. So I'm already fucking up. So I already know that it ain't that. I think it was Clark. No, shit. No, Clark is in Atlanta. Fuck am I talking about? Anyway, I don't want to throw no names out there and sound crazy as hell. But anyway, nonetheless, y'all tell me where the fuck I was at. Because, I mean, and still to this day, I still think about that day on going down that one-way street. I think about going to that swap meet in Baltimore. And when you're not from those areas, you be tripping out like damn. And what had me tripping out was the lights was on strings and shit. You know, the street light, I mean you know, the green, red, green, yellow, and red lights, you know, the stop lights and shit was on strings. They were looped on strings and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on out here? Because our street lights is all on poles. They're not strung like that. They're not on strings and shit. Like some of them is like that in Atlanta too. That's strings and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on and shit? Anyway, so that's my DC story. You know, so that's why I'm talking about people are not versed on travel. That some people just ain't never left the confines of their motherfucking city. Some people have not left their fucking state. Have y'all can believe that shit? It is some people in this motherfucking world that have never left their fucking state. And I'm like tripping. Nigga, you ain't never been out of your state? I mean, for real? I mean, I was talking to my boy Dooley, and he ain't never been out of California. I think he said he been to Vegas. And I'm like, nigga, for real? I mean, Vegas is just 3 hours down the street, and you, I mean, what? And he 50-something years old. And I'm like, you know, it's a trip on how some people just ain't never been anywhere. Like when I talk about the underground, in Atlanta, people like, what the fuck is you talking about? I was like, bitch, look, check this out. They got a mall down in Atlanta, nigga. You up under the ground, dog. They was like, what? Nigga, I was buying Chick-fil-A motherfucking sandwiches and shit. It was all that shit was downtown, uh, the underground in Atlanta. They like, bitch, you clowning. I said, no. I'm telling you, that was the day that I had, and a little short story. The day that Gerald Levert died, I was in Atlanta and I was at the underground that day when I got the phone call that he had passed. And I was like, what? Nigga, I was tripping. I was tripping. And because I was already a little bit jolted because here I'm underground and shit, and we all at shoe stores and shit, and bitch, we underground. You know? And I was already tripping on that fact by itself. So, yeah. So Atlanta, for those of you guys that ain't never been to Atlanta, they got some shit called the underground, nigga, and you are actually under motherfucking ground. But let me tell you this, when I went to New York City, and I went for a premiere. It was a black website that was opening up, and I don't know if it went under or not because I haven't heard anything. That was a couple of years ago. I think this was 2008, and I stayed in Manhattan. What was the name of this hotel that I stayed in? That'll come to me too. But anyway, I had flew into New York City to go to this premiere of this black website that had launched. And so while we were downtown, we of course, we was like motherfucking tourists and foreigners and shit, nigga. We was tripping around, nigga. When we was downtown, nigga, we was walking around, and it was like motherfuckers was walking so fast. I'm like, where the fuck is these motherfuckers all going? And I mean, literally, like the way you see that shit on TV, nigga. The way you see people walking on the streets like that downtown and in Manhattan, that shit is real. I was like, oh my god, because here, California. Damn it, nigga. I just spit. Do you see that shit, nigga? Nigga, I done spit all in my motherfucking bosom. You hear me? That means I'm passionate about what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, but when we were downtown and we were walking around, and it was like waves of people. It's like, where's all these people going? And these people were just walking. I mean, just some people walking this way, some motherfuckers walking that way, and some walking and they got their briefcases and shit. Motherfuckers are just walking around, big coats on, hats on. I was like, damn, where's these people going? And this was April of 2008. And I can't think of the name. I can't think of it, y'all. And it was really, really nice though, but I can't think of the name of it. And I remember the building that we went to for the launching party, and it was like right there on the water. It was like right there on the coast, like. And I was asking the driver, I'm like, where are we? And he was trying to tell me where we are and everything. But it was beautiful. It was so fucking beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And so, but anyway, let me get back to my downtown story, right? Y'all, so I was telling my friend, I was like, I want some cookies. And he was like, I got a surprise for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. You know what I'm saying? We over here Rockefeller. I wanted to see where the bitches be kicking at. You know what I'm saying? And Rockefeller dancers be kicking and shit. I wanted to see where that shit crack off at. I wanted to see where the Good Morning America, they be ice skating and shit all right there and all that shit. Anyway, so we wanted to go over there and we wanted to go see it. And I was like, man, this is the shit that you actually see on TV. It's like, man, it's a trip. But for those of you guys that live out there, it's nothing to y'all. Y'all bitches probably come to Venice Beach and be like, nigga, is this motherfucker skating with a motherfucking, is this pumps in the bun, motherfucker? Yeah. So when you come down here to go to Venice Beach, you liable to see a motherfucker with nuts and everything all to the side. Nigga, he ain't got no shirt on or nothing. He got on these motherfucking little motherfucking nut cutters right here. And he got some skates on and he's skating on through. That's how we roll down here. It's a trip. Venice Beach is a whole nother get out. But anyway.